Hey there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to something either from the Dollar Tree or your home or where, we're all in different places and there's different things going on in our communities, but you know what? You're doing it, and your congregation is so thankful for that, and your kids are thankful. And I am thankful that you are here with me. So, this is for the narrative lectionary, and we're still in Job. And we're looking at, I forget the text. I've got it over there. But we're in Job. And so this idea with Job, we're getting to that point where God and Job, they've started this, the conversation. Job has gone on for a while, and God so Job, are you done? And Job's like, yeah, okay. And God rolls up God's sleeves and starts on God's speech. And then God finishes up, and then Job responds. And it's the call and response. And what I love about Job is Job reminds us that our God is big enough to take our anger. God is big enough to take our frustrations. God is big enough that we can shake our fists at the heavens. And God goes, yeah, I hear you. So I'm looking at my springboard on this is looking at ways that we talk with one another, ways that we communicate with one another, ways that we can lift up things to God. And so it can be, I'm starting to chuckle a little bit because I'm like, when I'm talking about communicating, and I was going to look and grab my phone to pick it up. Well, today I'm recording on my phone. So that's one way we can communicate with this little smartphone right here with the camera there, and we can communicate. So that's one way. Paper and pen, we can communicate. We're writing a letter, email, or an iPad, or this idea, or Zoom, or my brain's going like I'm getting all this technology in my head, and then it's locking up. Which really, I tell you, when we communicate, and sometimes when we get really frustrated, we can lock up. We can go, and we can feel like I don't know, and that's hard stuff to communicate and to talk and to be heard and to listen. And Job reminds us that we have a God that's listening to us, that we have a God that hears our frustration, that our God, the God of the universe, the God that rolled out the mountains, the God that rolled out the seas, the God that created you and me, that God is listening to you and me. That God is big enough to take our anger, to take being frustrated, to take our shaking the fists at the heavens. So, again, I'm looking at what are some of the ways that we talk with one another. So, it could be that if you're videoing it, you say, you know what? One of the things I am so thankful for is technology, that I can actually record this, and I know that you are watching it, and you can see me, and I can imagine your faces, and I know that, and it's a wonderful thing, and then to move that into where in Job, when Job is talking with God, and they've got that back and forth, what are some of the ways that we can talk to God? Maybe prayer. What are some of the ways that we might pray? Writing a letter. If you have a hard time formulating the words, writing a letter, or drawing a picture and then coloring it in, and each color can be a different prayer. Drawing a picture of your family or the church, and these ways that we might be able to lift up our heavy hearts and lift them up to God, because we know the kids are feeling it. If we're feeling it, being separated from one another, having the schools got closed down, so they weren't able to say goodbye to their friends. This is heavy stuff, and to lift up and to draw attention to a God that can take that, and that we can tell God about our hurts and our sorrows, and we can lift that up. God is big enough. And I've said this before, it's one of those things when I'm talking about this, the VeggieTales comes to mind. And there is a song in the VeggieTales that God is bigger than the boogeyman. And I really, it's just it's a reminder that our God is a God that sees us and hears us, and we can bring that to our God. So that's my springboard. I'm hoping that this can be useful. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for your partnership in this ministry, and thank you for the work that you're doing in your congregation and for your kids. I truly know that they appreciate it, and I appreciate you and the work you're doing. Thank you, and I will see you next week.